Strange places on Earth that act in mysterious ways. Our planet just never stops surprising us. The deeper you explore, the more miraculous and astonishing the situations you end up finding. There are quite a lot of unimaginable events unfolding out in the world, and sometimes even at home. You just need to have a keen eye to catch them. But in case you never got the chance to witness any mysterious act of nature, all you need to do is hit the internet and search for these on your smart devices. In today's video, we'll be showing you some of the weirdest and most unique things that happen in the world around us, because there sure are many. But before we get started, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more such amazing content. The Yellowstone supervolcano. Yellowstone National Park is famous for being one of the most breathtaking places on our planet, but this natural wonder also boasts incredibly dangerous geographic formations in the world too. The supervolcano of Yellowstone has kept scientists on the edge for decades now. The threat of this volcano erupting won't let them sleep peacefully at night. The colossal volcano and the impending explosion makes it the most dangerous volcano on Earth. The last eruption of this volcano was dated by scientists back to 640,000 years ago, while the first ever eruption of this supervolcano occurred around 2.1 million years ago, according to scientists. Since the last event, the volcano may seem fairly dormant with just some non-eruptive moments and lava flow. It's hardly dead or benign though. The geysers of this volcano are evidence of the volcanic activity still booming and thriving underground. That's why the volcano is strictly monitored for even the tiniest bit of movement continuously by a team of geologists. In case it explodes, humanity may require several centuries to recover from the impact. Hang Son Doong. Also known as the deepest and longest cavern on planet Earth, Hang Son Doong is situated close to the Vietnam border. This cave is among the largest natural caves of the world and is home to the greatest system of cave passages humanity has ever seen. The name of this cave means the Cave of the Mountain River, and it's called so because of the enormous subterranean river that flows through the internal rock. Analysts estimated that this cave is around 2 to 5 million years old. It's carved of limestone mainly and was discovered initially in 1991 by a local. Later in 2009, British cavers mapped out and explored this system, only to find out that it connects to a huge number of underground rivers and other cave systems in the vicinity. Cerro Blanco. This discovery often gets overshadowed by the popularity of the nearby Nazca lines of Peru, but what most people don't know is that Cerro Blanco might just be the tallest sand dune in the world. This place is often considered a geological mystery. Duna Grande is another name given to this immense towering natural structure made of sand. It's estimated to be a whopping 3,860 feet tall, which means it's taller than England's highest mountain. It's easy to get a view of the Pacific Ocean from its peak. Locals believe there's a huge water body hiding underneath this massive dune, but that's more of a myth as there's no scientific evidence supporting it. India's root bridges. India is home to quite a few miracles of nature, but these root bridges stand out, for they look straight out of a fantasy film. It's quite clever how many societies in rural India have managed to use nature as a source for building materials and infrastructure. In northeastern India especially, people have grown their own bridges. In the tiny Cherrapunji village, the locals have grown bridges to take them across using the roots of the rubber tree. They manipulate the direction these roots grow over generations to ensure they end up looking as desired. Since it's one of the most humid places on Earth, the climate conditions here are favourable for rubber trees to expand their strong roots that grow over rivers and cliffsides. These bridges come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Pamukkale Hot Springs. Turkey is an ancient country that boasts one of the richest cultures and landscapes in the world. The Pamukkale Hot Springs are a unique geological formation that you won't find anywhere else. This small town in western Turkey is famous worldwide for its spring waters enriched with minerals. This water flows down a series of shimmering white terraces. The temperature of these springs is perfect in all seasons. The heat of these springs can be attributed to the underground volcanic and thermal activity occurring in the region. In total, there are 17 hot water springs in this place, and tourists from across the world pool in here every year to relax. Not to mention that a lot of them believe that this water has healing powers. Floating islands of Loktak Lake. Another wonder of nature situated in India is the Loktak Lake. It's the greatest and only freshwater lake in northeastern India. This lake has some pretty strange natural formations, resembling mini islands inside it. The mysterious series of floating islands is called Pumdis. These are circular and mostly made of vegetation, soil and decomposing organic matter. These tend to function as a trampoline due to the sponge-like surface they've developed over time. Thousands of these tiny islands are dispersed across the lake. This water body is significant for supplying drinking and cultivating water to the locals of the area. The underwater ecosystem of this lake is pretty amazing too, and the local fishermen catch around 6.6 million fish from there annually. The Devil's Tower. This one-of-a-kind geological structure may not live up to the fearful name it's been given, but it's actually considered one of the most spiritually significant places on Earth. This famous rock was featured in the 1977 Spielberg film called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's around 1,267 feet tall and is a sacred religious landmark for many national and Native American tribes. They believe this area is laced with divine spiritual properties. The rock has appeared in quite a few oral historic narrations and creation myths. The Arapaho called it Bear's Tipi, while the Kiowa call it a loft on the rock or tree rock. Because of its religious importance, it holds great value among the extraordinary geological structures found in North America. Haldan Valley Lights. The thought of mysterious light floating in the night sky directs us straight towards extraterrestrial activity, and in this Norwegian town the locals have gotten used to seeing a blinding array of lights floating across the night sky. Scientists are puzzled by this phenomenon, while the alien enthusiasts couldn't be more excited. These flashing orbs can be seen as big as cars, but tend to vary greatly in size, therefore prompting the space nerds to think it's a sign of alien activity. However, there's no scientific evidence to prove that. Since the early 2000s, scientists have been trying to pinpoint their origins, but have failed miserably. Most, however, agree that they're caused by a natural object with properties resembling those of a battery buried underground, though this is just a theory that's yet to be verified. Stone Forest of Shilin. China is huge and hence is home to a variety of unique natural objects and anomalies. One of these weird existences is the Shilin Stone Forest located in Kunming. It's believed to be around 270 million years old and is spread across a whopping 186-mile area. These unbelievable rock formations look like an assembly of stalagmite-like pillars that are huge. According to geologists, this forest was formed by seismic activity, water and wind erosion over millions of years. The most popular in this forest is the Ashima stone that's believed to have been formed as a tribute to a beautiful girl named Santi. Legend says she was turned into stone when she ran into the forest after she was forbidden from marrying the love of her life. Red Beach in Panjin. Here's another wonderful and breathtaking scenery from China. This blood-red beach is a bizarre waterway situated on the Shuangtai-Zi River estuary. This unique colouring can be attributed to the excessive saline content and super-high alkaline levels in the soil and water. Because of this chemical change, almost no species of plants can grow here as they can't form roots in toxic conditions. Well, except for this one plant that has adapted well to the situation and is thriving in the area. The sea blight is a succulent that's exclusive to this red beach, which is probably called so because of the bright red colour of this abundant plant. Cersei. This island in the middle of nowhere has everyone confused. It mysteriously emerged in the ocean, first spotted by the crew of an Arctic trawler that was close to Iceland, where they saw smoke rising from the surface of the sea. They had no idea about it at the time, but they just saw a new island being born. This volcanic island appeared off the southern coast of Iceland and was given the name Cersei after a fire giant from Norse mythology. Though the island kept growing over decades, it had achieved a size of 1,640 feet within the first week. The eruption kept going for about 3.5 years while the lava helped form its structure, and against the enormous sea waves that would have otherwise swept it under. Though Cersei is most famous, it's not the only island that has emerged in the Pacific over recent years. Myanmar's Golden Boulder. This terrifying boulder is resting still on the edge of a cliff, defying quite a few laws of physics. Nothing short of a miracle, this boulder in Myanmar is considered sacred by the locals and is painted with gold. It may seem like a scene from a movie, but the boulder sits half fixed to the edge of this cliff that you see, while the other half is suspended in the air. It might be an astonishing sight, but this boulder is an accident waiting to happen. It could slip and fall any day and crush whomever is unlucky enough to be caught underneath it. This 25-foot tall rock sees thousands of visitors daily, most of whom are pilgrims curious to witness this mysterious spiritual rock. Legend says this boulder is placed over a single strand of Buddha's hair, which is the reason why it defies gravity and doesn't fall down the cliff. Salar de Uyuni. This one looks like a scene from a science fiction film. But let us assure you, despite being extremely inhospitable salt flat, Salar de Uyuni is as real as it gets. It's located in Bolivia and is considered one of the most stunning natural formations found in South America. This wonderful vista covers an area of 4,050 square miles. It has officially been deemed the largest salt flat in the world. Scientists claim this flat formed when a prehistoric lake evaporated millions of years ago, leaving behind this thick layer of salt, extending so far it's unbelievable. And when this gets covered by a layer of water coming from the enemy overflowing water bodies, it turns into a reflective surface and gives the impression of a natural mirror facing the sky. Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This one is for the environment. A reminder that our oceans are becoming home to hazardous waste thanks to uncontrolled and unaccounted human activity. There's an actual garbage patch in the Pacific Ocean, and the credit for its existence goes to us, humans. This tragic situation is caused by dumping millions of tons worth of non-biodegradable waste into the oceans. All of the garbage that reaches the oceans from smaller water bodies like the rivers and streams eventually reaches this garbage patch. This is almost like a huge island formed from the garbage and waste floating across the waters because of the currents. This plastic is choking entire ecosystems and distorting the oceans. Our garbage is on the verge of becoming our greatest enemy unless we take immediate steps to clean the oceans and decrease our annual waste. This Great Pacific Garbage Patch is around 3 times the size of France and has around 2 trillion pieces of plastic. But because this patch doesn't fall within the jurisdiction of any country, no one is willing to take responsibility for it. Therefore, no funds are available to help clean this up. Well, eventually someone will have to clean it up, because if they don't, the consequences will be dire. Many across the internet have been trying to explain the appearance of this weird pattern in the ice. It could have been formed by a gas leak or a rupture below the surface of the ice. This means it could be dangerous, especially if it lies on top of a bigger supply of harmful gas or chemicals. Methane pockets are frequently appearing on the ice in Siberia. This happened when a methane gas bubble inflated under the permafrost that's slowly melting and that eventually bursts open to form a 164-foot deep crater. The melting permafrost adds to the organic activity, leading to the formation of byproducts and greenhouse gases that don't always stay underneath. This is pretty dangerous and was first spotted by a TV crew that was flying over the area, and once it was thoroughly investigated, the impact of this explosion was found to be quite threatening. Quicksand. Initiating with an immensely important public service message. Quicksand is quite a dangerous natural occurrence, and you should avoid playing around with it. Even though it's quite a common phenomenon we're all pretty familiar with, there's not much information available about its distinctive properties and bizarre nature. Science still doesn't understand how this sinking sand comes to being. As opposed to popular belief, you can't sink in the quicksand, so no need to fear for your life in case you end up stuck in it. You won't be swallowed whole by the earth. The sand won't consume you entirely. It's no doubt quite difficult to get out of quicksand once you're in it, but the movies tend to exaggerate its deadliness a tad bit. Recent scientific studies have shown that it's physically not possible for a person to sink entirely into quicksand or drown in it. Humans tend to float in this muddy mess. This precise mixture of sand, clay and salt water tends to thicken while it rests, but when exposed to higher stress, it immediately liquefies. That's probably why you initially sink into it, because of your weight. This means the more you move, the more you'll sink. Humans don't have the right density to sink in quicksand, and you need to weigh a lot to drown in this. If you ever get stuck in it, try wiggling your legs a little bit. This will make place for water to move in and liquefy it. Well, that was all about the incredible things occurring across the planet we can't make much sense of. Do tell us in the comments which one intrigued you the most. We think the garbage patches are what needs our immediate attention. Wouldn't you agree? For more amazing information-packed videos, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. See you all soon. Goodbye.